I started doing this triathlons and endurance sports, ultra runs, just to test my soul, to see what I'm about, to see in a 150-mile race at mile 75 when I feel really bad. That's when you know. That's the only time you can find out what the human body is all about, what you're made of, to find out limits to myself, limits to the human soul. And every day I'm trying to see if I have limits.
And that you have to evolve. You have to evolve, and that's the hardest part for me right now. Is I've always been a knuckle dragger, and I'm always going to be a knuckle dragger. But in life, if you're not evolving and you're not trying to recreate yourself, you're not getting any better.
I believe in a higher power. Don't know the name, don't know where it's coming from, don't know anything like that. But I believe that this power, and visualize with me real quick. Let's say it's a man up there or a woman, whatever, and they have a chart. And when you're born, they say David Goggins, born February 17th, 1975 at 6 a.m. They write the chart down because they can see everything. They know exactly what you're fucking supposed to be. They know what you're supposed to be. You die, you go to so-called heaven. You arrive at heaven, I'm 300 pounds. I retired as an Ecolab guy, which is okay, just a job, whatever. I go up there and God looks at me and he shows me my chart. And my chart on there says you were supposed to be a Navy SEAL. You're supposed to weigh 185 pounds. You're supposed to be one of the smartest people on the planet, this, all this. You see this. And now you're in heaven, you made it to heaven, but you're like, God, I was supposed to live that life. I was supposed to live that life. And then you find out that the reason why, because we all think that if we pray on it, if we do this, if we do that, whatever, if we don't work, we just, whatever, it's gonna magically happen for us. No, I believe that when I'm all said and done with, my whole job is to outwork the chart. Whatever the fucking chart says about me, the all-knowing power up there, I want to get up there and say, him look at me and say, I know everything. I didn't fucking see this. I didn't fucking see this. I want to feel that. I want to get to the other end of this fucking world, and however I'm being judged, whoever's judging me, to look at me and say, I did not fucking know. I had you at 185, I had you at this, but all this other shit, I was riding as you were living it. I want to find more. All I can. And in that fucking sack of shit, you have to dive in that to find more. Because if you're not willing to go in there and face yourself, you're not gonna find anything. You're gonna live right here on surface, man, right here on surface. So if there is an ending to this world and there is somewhere to go and there's a judgment, you're gonna get there and you might see a chart. And that chart may tell you who the fuck you should have been. And now you get the rest of your life to think about that. Man, I could have lived a much better life if I just would have just suffered a little bit more. If I just would have went in that shit and realized I had so much more. But fear and the 40% and living here versus living here, being afraid, stop me. So that's, I'm a big guy in visualizing. I'm a big guy in making a world, it may not exist. To me, it does. To me, it does. And I'm overpowering myself every day. And you gotta find tools to do that. That's the tool that I use. So that's what it's all about.
After studying up on David Goggins, this is what I came to. It starts with belief. I believed I could run 4 miles every 4 hours for 24 hours, and I did. Inspired by David Goggins, I broke up 28 miles into 4-hour chunks throughout a 24-hour period of time. Towards the end, my knees hurt, but I just kept going. If I had to walk, that was fine, as long as I completed what I set out to do. So I say all this to say, I really like David Goggins. He's an intense person. But as I learned through the sport of wrestling, intensity isn't for everyone, but neither is success. So sometimes you gotta be really intense if you wanna achieve what you wanna achieve. And sometimes that means running 28 miles. And sometimes that means going to medical school. And sometimes that means working 2 jobs. But at the end of the day, it's about self-awareness. It's about knowing what you want to do in this life. If you want to become a Buddhist monk, go do that. The opportunities are out there. Don't get sucked into the type of thinking that puts limits on yourself. You are limitless. Remember that. It takes belief, it takes creativity, and it takes execution. So, let's execute together. This is a critical time. We're all in isolation, the whole world. The whole world is unified, being isolated. We've never been closer as a country. So use this time for self-reflection and pivot. If you need to pivot, pivot. Now's the time. If you hated your job your whole life, now's the time to switch it up. It's a fresh start.